What if the god of war wasn't the hero you imagined? Ares, violent, feared, and misunderstood, a symbol of chaos and bloodshed. But why did the Greeks distrust him, while the Romans made him a legend? Today, we uncover the forgotten truth behind Ares, the god of war, a god who charged into battle with fear and terror by his side. A rivalry that divided myth and shaped the ancient world. The god of war wasn't just a force of nature. He was a warning. Are you ready to face the chaos? Let's dive into the story of Ares, the god of war. Ares wasn't just about fighting. He symbolized the raw, unpredictable side of conflict. While other gods, like Athena, approached war with strategy and wisdom, Ares charged headfirst into combat, relying on brute strength and aggression. But here's a twist. Despite being the god of war, Ares wasn't universally admired. In fact, most Greeks didn't like him all that much. Why would the Greeks create a god they didn't even like? That's one of the questions we'll explore. Ares wasn't a hero in their eyes. Instead, he represented the harsh reality of war, something necessary but unpleasant. His reputation as a bloodthirsty and reckless deity made him a controversial figure. But let's not forget, every mythological character has layers, and Ares is no exception. His presence was crucial to Greek stories, even if he wasn't always the star. From battles to affairs, Ares' life was filled with action, betrayal, and drama, and we're here to break it all down. What about his family life? Well, being the son of Zeus and Hera meant that Ares was surrounded by chaos even at home. Zeus, the king of the gods, wasn't exactly known for his patience, and Hera had a reputation for being vengeful. With parents like that, is it any wonder Ares turned out the way he did? Despite his flaws, Ares did have his fans, most notably in Sparta, where warriors admired his physical strength and courage. But elsewhere in Greece, he struggled to gain respect. This divide between regions highlights how different cultures within Greece viewed war and violence. Before we dive deeper into his myths and rivalries, here's a question for you. Do you think a god like Ares, who represents chaos and destruction, could ever be fully embraced by a society that values wisdom and strategy? Let us know in the comments. Limited worship and cults. Unlike other major Olympian gods, Ares didn't enjoy widespread worship across ancient Greece. His cults were few, with the most notable being in Sparta. Why? Because Spartan culture was built on warfare, and they admired Ares' brute strength, resilience, and combat skills. For them, he represented the ideal warrior. In contrast, other Greek city-states viewed Ares very differently. Athens, for example, preferred the wisdom and strategy of Athena. To Athenians, Ares was seen as a dangerous and chaotic force, necessary during battle but not someone you'd want to invite to dinner. This difference highlights the divide between Greek cities and their attitudes toward war. Interestingly, Ares' limited worship wasn't due to a lack of importance. Instead, it was because many Greeks saw war as a necessary evil. While they respected the need for defense and victory, they didn't glorify violence. Athena's strategic approach to war was seen as more civilized and effective. Even the few temples dedicated to Ares often had a secondary purpose. For example, some were used as training grounds for soldiers rather than places of religious worship. This practical use shows how even his followers focused on his role in warfare rather than spiritual devotion. Despite this, Ares' image persisted in art and literature. Statues often depicted him as a muscular, armored warrior, symbolizing strength and power. But these representations didn't always reflect admiration. Sometimes, they served as a warning about the dangers of uncontrolled aggression. The Spartans, however, took things to another level. They would often sacrifice dogs to Ares before battle, a ritual symbolizing loyalty and ferocity. This practice further emphasizes how they viewed Ares as a god who could grant them victory through sheer force. But why didn't other cities adopt similar practices? The answer lies in their values. Most Greeks believed that war should be fought with intelligence and purpose, not recklessness. This belief kept Ares on the sidelines, with only a few dedicated followers. Let's pause here for a moment. If you lived in ancient Greece, would you have been more drawn to Ares' raw power or Athena's strategic mind? Tell us what you think. Ares versus Athena. One of the most important rivalries in Greek mythology is between Ares and Athena. While both were associated with war, they couldn't be more different. Ares represented the chaotic, violent side of battle, while Athena symbolized strategy, wisdom, and discipline. This rivalry wasn't just a mythological feud, it reflected real cultural values. To the Greeks, Ares embodied what they tried to avoid: reckless violence and destruction. Meanwhile, Athena was seen as the ideal warrior, combining intelligence with combat skills. She wasn't just a fighter, she was a thinker. Zeus, their father, made his favoritism clear. He admired Athena for her wisdom and often praised her in ways that Ares deeply resented. In Homer's Iliad, Ares even accuses Zeus of favoring Athena because she was born directly from his head, symbolizing wisdom and divine intellect. Their rivalry played out in several myths, with Athena often coming out on top. For example, during the Trojan War, Athena consistently outsmarted Ares. When Diomedes, a Greek hero, faced Ares on the battlefield, it was Athena who guided him, ensuring Ares was wounded and forced to flee. Why did the Greeks favor Athena over Ares? It comes down to their philosophical approach to life. They valued order, discipline, and reason, qualities that Athena embodied. Ares' impulsive nature clashed with these ideals, making him a less appealing figure. Even in art and literature, Athena was depicted as a noble warrior, often shown with her shield and spear. Ares, on the other hand, was often portrayed as bloodthirsty and reckless. This contrast highlights how deeply the Greeks admired strategic thinking over brute force. But let's consider this. In modern times, where we often celebrate strength and determination, would Ares be seen more favorably today? Share your thoughts in the comments. Key myths involving Ares. Ares' role in Greek mythology includes several key stories, each showcasing different aspects of his character. One of the most famous is his involvement in the Trojan War. Initially neutral, Ares joined the Trojans after being persuaded by Aphrodite, but his efforts were ultimately in vain, as Athena and the Achaeans defeated him. Ares' children often accompanied him into battle, adding to his fearsome reputation. Phobos, fear, and Deimos, terror, embodied the psychological side of war, while Enyo, discord, represented chaos. These children emphasized Ares' role in creating not just physical conflict but emotional and mental turmoil. Another well-known myth involves Ares' affair with Aphrodite. Despite being married to Hephaestus, Aphrodite couldn't resist Ares' passion. When Hephaestus discovered the affair, he trapped them in a golden net and exposed them to the other gods, leading to their public humiliation. Ares is also connected to the Amazons, a tribe of warrior women said to be his descendants. Hippolyta, their queen, received a magical girdle from Ares, symbolizing her authority and strength. The Amazons embodied many of the traits Ares valued, such as bravery and combat prowess. One of Ares' less flattering stories involves his capture by the giants Otus and Ephialtes. They trapped him in a bronze jar for a year until he was rescued by Hermes. This myth highlights Ares' vulnerability, showing that even gods aren't invincible. What's your favorite myth involving Ares? Let us know in the comments below. Roman counterpart, Mars. When we talk about Ares, it's impossible not to mention his Roman counterpart, Mars. Unlike Ares, Mars was highly respected in Roman culture. While the Greeks saw Ares as a destructive force, the Romans viewed Mars as a protector and peacekeeper. This difference comes down to cultural values. The Greeks, known for their philosophical outlook, saw war as something to be approached cautiously. The Romans, however, embraced war as a means to maintain order and expand their empire. Mars shared some similarities with Athena in how he was portrayed. He wasn't just a god of war, he was a symbol of strength, discipline, and protection. This dual role made him central to Roman religion, second only to Jupiter. In Roman mythology, Mars was also associated with agriculture, symbolizing the connection between military success and prosperity. This association further distinguished him from Ares, who was purely focused on conflict. Another interesting point is how Mars was depicted in Roman art. Unlike Ares, who was often shown as wild and chaotic, Mars was depicted as a noble warrior, reflecting his respected status. So, if you had to choose between Ares and Mars, who would you pick? Share your answer in the comments below. Ares may not have been the most beloved god in Greek mythology, but his role was essential. He embodied the harsh reality of war, reminding the Greeks of its necessity and danger. In contrast, Mars became a symbol of strength and protection, reflecting the Romans' practical approach to warfare. This contrast between Ares and Mars highlights the different values of ancient Greece and Rome. Where the Greeks admired wisdom and strategy, the Romans celebrated strength and discipline. Both gods serve as reminders of how war can be viewed through different lenses. If you've enjoyed this journey into the mythology of Ares, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And remember, if you want to explore more fascinating myths, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.